In this example, I want to show you how to calculate the standard deviation of a set of data. Now, the standard deviation is the average of the difference between each of these pieces, each of these values from the mean of the data. So to show you how it's done, I'm going to start with the mean. The mean, to calculate the average, you just simply add the values up and divide them by the total number of values over here. So that's 25 plus 26 plus 27 plus 28 plus, plus 29 plus 33. Now this will give me 168. To find the mean, I will simply just divide this by the total number of values here, which is 6. So 168 divided by 6 will give you 28. All right, if you don't believe me, check the calculator. All right, so now let's take a look at how we're going to calculate the average difference. So first of all, we're going to take the difference of each of these values and the mean. So we're talking about, in this case, 25 take away 28. And that will give you minus 3. And we have 26 take away 28. That will give you minus 2. And here's 27 take away 28. That gives you minus 1. And finally, and not finally yet, but we have 28 take away 28 giving you 0. 29 take away 28 giving me 1. And 33 take away 28 giving you 5. Okay. Now, you'll notice that there are some negative numbers here and there are some positive numbers here. If we simply added these numbers together, what will happen is that some of the negative numbers here will reduce the total sum. So the total difference would seem a lot smaller than what it actually is. So to avoid having negative numbers, what we do is we square the numbers. When you square a negative number, you get a positive number. All right, so here's what we're doing. We've actually taken the difference between the value and the mean, and what we're doing is that we're going to square it. So we're going to square minus 3, that gives us 9. If you square minus 2, that's minus 2 times minus 2 giving you 4. If you square 1, minus 1, you get 1. If you square 0, you get 0. If you square 1, you get 5. If you square 5, you get 25. All right, notice that this is actually a very large number compared to the rest over here. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is to add all these squares, and then we're going to find the average. So when we do this, we have 9 plus 1, that's 10. 4 plus 1 is 5, so we have 15. 15 plus 25 is 40. All right. Now what we're going to do now is that we're going to divide 40 by the total number of values here, which is 6. That's how we find the average. So 40 divided by 6. Let's see. 40 divided by 6. That gives us 6.67. And now, because we have actually squared these values, all right, these are actually the sum of the squares of the values, we're going to have to square root this value to get the average difference. So we're going to square root this. So we're going to put that in, we're going to store that as the answer. All right, and we are going to square root the answer, which is found by clicking on this recall button. Okay, I could have gotten this wrong, but we remember that to be 6.67. 6.67. That would give us 2.58. So the average difference between each of these values from the mean is 2.58. Now, there is a quick method of actually obtaining the standard deviation and the mean using the statistics function on the calculator. All right. So what will happen is that you will actually simply key in these values as a data set, and the calculator will instantly work out what the mean and standard deviation is. All right. So to access the statistics function on the calculator, first of all, we're going to clear all this. We're going to click on mode. We're going to click on 1 to set it to stat, and then click on 0. All right. 0 is just one of the modes of operation with statistics. So now we are set. Oh, but there's one more step we have to do. We need to clear previous data that has been stored in this calculator. So we click the second function and click on mode to clear all previous stored data. So now we are ready to actually enter the values. So 25. If you press M+, you have the first entry in your data set. If you click on 20, if you press enter 26 and you click M+ again, you get the second value added to the data set. And so I will just continually add the rest of the data. And finally, last one. So you can see that I've entered 6 pieces of data. Now, to check whether or not I've entered the data correctly, you can cycle through the list. So your last piece of data entered was 33. Your second last one was 29. Your the fourth one was 28, 27, 26, and finally, so I have entered the data correctly. So what I'm going to do now is to simply just calculate the mean. Now, to calculate the mean, all you got to do is click on alpha, and you click on the button that is next to the mean symbol here, which is a slash with an X below. There you go. You have to click on the equal sign to actually get the mean. And you can see over here that you're actually accessing the mean of the data set. Press the equal sign, you get 28, which is what we have calculated early on. All right. And then if you want to calculate the standard deviation, just click on alpha and click on the symbol that represents standard deviation. The symbol that represents a standard deviation looks like this. A sigma with an X in front. A sigma is the a Greek symbol. All right. So if you click on 6, you get sigma X, which is the standard deviation. Press the equal sign, you get 2.58. So the calculator makes a short work of the processes that I have gone through. All right, and we'll do it really quickly for large sets of data.